This is your day to celebrate starting the next chapter of your life, but I also promise you that you're going to blink and it's going to be 10 years later. So take a minute to enjoy where you are now.
This video in particular is a commencement speech from Marquise Brownlee, or MKBHD, if you don't know who that is. That is a tech influencer, tech reviewer on YouTube. Really super smart guy. He graduated from Stevens University, and then 9 years later they called him back to be a commencement speech giver for the graduating class of 2024. So why is this important? It's important because transition is transition. Whether you're transitioning from one job to another job, whether you're transitioning from high school to college, college to a career, from the military to civilian life, a transition is a transition. It's just another point along the way. Moving from one major accomplishment to the next is really the whole premise of this channel, the whole premise of what we do, myself and Victor, the whole premise of the conversations that we have, talking about, of course, the tactics and the tips and the tricks of how to do that transition. But really, the crux of it is the transition from one major accomplishment, which is your military career, or even if you did 5 years or 10 years, that's an accomplishment. That's a lot of work. You're the 1% of the population who's actually gone and signed the contract and raised your right hand in service of our country. When you finish one career or you finish one project, you have to start a new one, and that new one is starting from scratch, basically. Of course, you've got a toolkit in your back pocket, all the things you've learned over your military career. You've got the many experiences you have interacting with people, managing projects, doing all these amazing things, deploying and serving your country. And now you want to take that toolkit and translate it into something new, but you're still going to have to start from scratch, start from square one, start from the first step. The first step you took when you joined the military 20 years ago, 10 years ago, however long it was an unknown, right? You didn't have a nervous breakdown or get depressed because you were leaving home and joining the military, or you were leaving high school and joining the military to go do other things. You were excited about it because of the fact that it was something new, it was something that you thought was important. And so this transition to civilian life is the same thing. It's something new and it's something important for you.
So I'm told I have 7 minutes to really make an impression on you guys. Most of the videos are heavily edited and way longer than 7 minutes, so I'll try to keep it concise here so you can graduate. But first of all, I feel like I stand in front of you a little bit shocked at where we are, because I feel like I was just there not that long ago. Like a minute ago, I was sitting here graduating from Stevens. But then I checked and it was 9 years ago. So 2015, it's like ancient history to you guys. So they say time flies. But when President Farvardin invited me to come back here and give the commencement speech to you all, the class of 2024, the school that I graduated from, I'm obviously honored and excited and maybe a little bit nervous. There's a lot of people here, but I want to give you guys two things. I prepared two things for you. One is for now and one is for later. So I'll start with the thing for now. And I'm going to start with a quote, actually. So it goes like this. As a large language model, I cannot help with your request to write a commencement speech. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I wrote this whole thing myself. I thought you guys would like that.
That's actually quite hilarious. That's really funny. He's, of course, speaking to Stevens. They have a huge technology department, so a lot of the kids that are there are learning about technology and computers, computer science, and things like that. So very, very appropriate, very funny opening line there.
But I'm actually going to start with a quote from an Ultimate Frisbee teammate. So I know that's not the reason I'm here, but a lot of you guys may know I played Ultimate Frisbee when I went here to Stevens. I still play to this day. I remember really, really early in my Ultimate Frisbee career, sort of the beginning of freshman year, there's a tryout process, and then the team was formed. And I remember we went to our first tournament. We were all in the huddle before our first game as a team. And the captain said, hey, guys, everybody take a beat, just take a deep breath, and just look around this huddle for a second. Like, really appreciate this moment of becoming a team for the first time. Because you're going to blink, and the whole season is going to be over way faster than you think. And he was totally right. You know, there's obviously, we played the game, there's lots of long points and then lots of long weekends of practices and travel, and it's a grind, but we loved every second of it, and we all evolved a lot as teammates and as players, and it was great. But at the end of the season, we could all remember that first huddle. We remembered that moment of just taking a beat. So while I have the chance, I want to encourage you all sitting here with the gowns and the hats and everything to just take a beat and look around at your fellow classmates and your friends, people who you just spent a lot of time with, your families here. This is your day to celebrate and starting the next chapter of your life. But I also promise you that you're going to blink and it's going to be 10 years later. So take a minute to enjoy where you are now.
That's probably the most important part of this speech that he's giving, is really just the same. It sounds familiar, right? You spent so many months and years deploying, going and doing jobs, learning different skills, building the team, being a part of the team along the way. So just take a moment to sit back and look around you in the room, whether you're at TRS or the TAP office, or you're at your actual retirement ceremony, and just take a moment to take it in. The fact that you've spent all that time and done all that stuff, and now it seems like in the blink of an eye, it's finished. Let's check out the rest.
Now for later. I give you that for now, something for later. Here's the thing. I've always struggled with giving advice, I feel like. I don't know if President Favarda knew that when he invited me to give a commencement speech, but I feel like I get asked to give advice a lot and I don't really know what to say. Typically, it's like, here are some things that I learned and I can pass them along to you. But I gotta be honest, I feel like a lot of my success, was the state of the world, finding a niche, capitalizing on good luck. Like there wasn't really any playbook or set of things that I strictly followed that I can pass along. It kind of felt just like it was something that I really dove into because it was exciting to me. So now I'm in this bizarre position of trying to give advice. But the more I've thought about it, the more I feel like the best advice that I can give you is to find something that gets you excited. That's really what it comes down to. So you're all sitting here today because you've made it to the end of a very challenging process called college, starting the next chapter of your lives, and you're armed with a bunch of tools that you picked up along the way. You're basically at a launching pad. You just need somewhere to point that energy, somewhere to dial it up all the way to 100. And so I really feel like my best advice for you is this is the perfect time to take a minute and ask yourself those big questions, like, who am I? What do I really want to do? What do I care about? How do I want to make an impact? How do I want to give back? What makes you feel excited? What makes you feel nervous? You've already been challenged, clearly, and you've made a lot of tough choices. You've had to learn new skills. I went to Stevens. I know you had to solve problems in innovative ways. You had to work alone. You had to work in groups. You had to make time for things that are really challenging. So you have all these tools, but purpose is also a tool. And to me, I feel like it's the most powerful one. It won't necessarily be a smooth ride finding what that is for you. Some of you are already sitting here like, I know what it is. I know what I want to do. Some of you, it might take trying something, it might be taking a risk.
So he's absolutely right. We talk about that a lot, and purpose is not something that you can easily find. It doesn't just show up one day. You don't just send off an application and get your purpose card back in the mail. It's not the way it works, right? But right now is the opportune time to sit down and figure out what that purpose is, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, if you want to go to a new job, if you want to start something new, start your own business, if you want to just sit around and mow the lawn and make sure that the garden is kept proper, right? These are the kind of questions that you want to kind of ask yourself, because again, college graduation or retiring from the military, it's one and the same thing, right? You may not get the fanfare and the accolades. You don't get to wear a suit, a cap and gown, and all these amazing things happen. Depends on if you have a good big retirement ceremony or not, but really it's one and the same. It's moving from one state of being in college and learning and growing, or in the military case, learning and growing and becoming a leader and leading people and successfully accomplishing goals, to doing the next thing.
For some of you like me, it may be something that literally doesn't exist yet, which is very exciting. But whatever it is you decide to do, making a dent in the universe is much easier when you care deeply about that part of the universe. So for me, it was tech videos on the internet, but for all of you, the sky's the limit, clearly. So I'll end with this. Graduation is an exciting time. It's also a great word, graduation. It's also a great album. But you graduate many times as a person, I think. You continue to level up and build and graduate over and over again yourself. I mean, you obviously already had high school graduation. You're having, for many of you, this is your formal education graduation, but you might also have your first job graduation, or your second job graduation, or learning a new skill graduation, or overcoming a new fear graduation. Or maybe you talk to someone and you get inspired and absorb some information that unlocks a new part of your brain. That's another graduation right there. So, class of 2024, I wish you many more graduations. This certainly will not be the last one. Congrats on getting to this launching pad. And from one duck to another, congrats and good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. That's why I wanted to share this with you. I think it's important, even if it's not this commencement speech, another commencement speech, or any inspiring speech, something just to keep you motivated and keep you going, but to understand that every single major thing you do in your life is a graduation. So I just want to say thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and congratulations to the graduating class of retirees of 2024. I salute all of you.